Former Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield and his personal assistant Duart Hitzberger were being investigated by the police as part of their probe into allegations of fraud following the March 2nd, 2020 general and regional elections. Hitzberger is a lieutenant in the Guyana Defense Force but was seconded to GCOM in 2014 on a one-year contract and then, after an amendment, on a 10-year contract that would be subject to renewal every 3 years. When contacted on Wednesday by the newsroom, GCOM Commissioner Bibi Shadiq explained that the end date for the 3-year contract secured by Hitzberger was December 8, 2021. The contract itself stipulates that before any renewal, the employee must write and indicate 3 months in advance their intention to continue in the position. Shadiq contends that no such letter was written and she believes it was intentional, that the contract was renewed well in advance of its end date and the 3-month period for discussions about the renewal. She explained that the renewal was done during the 1-week grace period Lowenfield was granted in June before he was sent on leave ahead of his dismissal.
And this man, Lowenfield, renewed a contract that has not yet ended and is not 3 months before the end of the contract yet. The 8th of October will be 3 months before the end of the contract. Mr. Hitzberger didn't write any request for renewal, but his contract has been renewed. Now this is your personal assistant. The CEO has to know he was on the way out. He knew that.
Shadiq also believes that this instance is not isolated and that there are more persons who could have similarly had their contracts renewed by Lowenfield before he was dismissed.
I am sure there are more. I don't know who they are yet because I'm asking for information. I'm asking for lists of people. I'm asking for contract end date. That kind of thing.
Right.
And of course, it's like you got to keep like pulling, like you're pulling teeth. You got to keep digging. You got to keep asking a different question. You got to keep. So every week you got to keep getting the HR there to ask. Too many things are hidden in that place.
The employment of Melanie Marshall, who was contracted as a registration officer, is also up for discussion. The newsroom understands that Marshall was placed by Lowenfield to act as the voter registration manager when the substantive office holder left just over 2 years ago. While the position of the personal assistant to the CEO does not need the approval of the 7-member commission, the position of voter registration manager is one of the senior positions at GCOM that does. Shadiq said it was strange that the human resource manager had not advertised this position as vacant, although Marshall's contract for her substantive position should have ended in July 2020. The GCOM commissioner said she later learned that Marshall was reportedly evaluated by Lowenfield, who recommended her contract to be renewed, and that she's confirmed in the position of voter registration manager. Shadiq now questions the legitimacy of such a move since Marshall only had a contract for registration officer and not voter registration manager. She wants Marshall to revert to her substantive position and the vacancy for voter registration manager advertised. Kurt Campbell, Newsroom.